Yeah,
There you go.
what's this? Hang on. Are you giving me what? One had a stain on it. You're giving me second-hand stickers, man. This is DJ. DJ's down from... Where are you from?
I don't know. Just been to Summer
ACT.
ACT. Just been to Summernet, so that was interesting.
And you enjoyed the Summer Nets? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so that was cool. Gotta go check out the Mazda RX-3 that we found in the bush, and then Jay from Low Standards.
And what motor has it got?
It's got a 20B PP in it now, and it is rowdy as. So no doubt you'll be able to find it on the internet. It's baby blue and it's low as hang. Yeah, absolutely beautiful car.
So make sure you go into Automotive Karnage channel and have a look, because he'll have that uploaded reasonably soon.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, my video on my channel, you'll find us finding the car, and then on Jay's channel, you'll find him building it.
Jay, what's his channel?
Low Standards.
Low Standards. It sounds like the sort of thing I do. Particularly when I'm dealing with mixmasters. He never watched my mixmaster video. He thought it was crap.
Well, yeah, I mean, who wants to watch your mixer, man? I want to watch your Plymouth. Where's the Plymouth at? Have you finished those XC guards? Oh, no, that's Graham, isn't it?
No. I've got them. Graham hasn't got them. He's got them back to me, so it's my fault.
Oh, they're finally done. So there you go, internet haters. They're finally done.
They're finally done. Yeah, that's right.
Pick up a new gripe.
That's it. No, thanks very much for these, man. It's lovely to come and meet you too.
Yes, for once, finally. That was good.
Oh, good day and welcome. And I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since the last video. I am awfully sorry. I've been doing lots and lots of stuff around the house, in the backyard and all this sort of business. You probably noticed, actually, behind the MG here, there's daylight. And that's because there's no back on the garage. So I'm almost ready for concrete. I've kind of made friends with the builders next door. They're building a couple of units, townhouses, and what's happening? I asked them, right, okay, so the fence needs to be done, and they're going to put a brick wall there because they've got the garage on this thing, and that doesn't bother me. And they want to make it slightly longer, and that doesn't bother me. And there was a tree at the front that bothered them, and I cut it down for them and all this stuff. Anyway, it started dropping. I dropped a bit of, I dropped a branch on our power line. Was it the year before last? And then it dropped a big section in their place. So I said, I'll just get rid of the tree for you. Because I didn't initially intend to do it. But anyway, they really appreciated that. And I said, but it comes at a cost. I'll do that if you do my concreting cheap. So it remains to be seen how cheap. But at this stage, we're looking at wholesale concrete and paying for mesh, and he'll concrete it for nothing. So we'll just see how much that costs. I'm not really, I mean, they're businessmen, right? They're kind of, that's what they do. So I've just got to see, hope and pray that it's not too dear. But I do want a dollar figure before they start. So the thing with that, they gave me a laser leveler and boxing and all this sort of other stuff. I ended up using sleepers from a path and pulled that up and cleaned up the backyard and all this sort of other stuff. And to try and get it done. Now, once it's concreted, which should be in, I'm going to say 2 weeks, then I can take the rest of the wall out, start moving cars in and all this. Right, so this chapter is quite special. It's very special. I'm a bit special, but you can say that two ways. DJ, my friend DJ, Donald from Western Australia, went to the Summer Nets in ACT, and he stopped by on a flight through Melbourne, and it was here for, I think, 2 or 3 hours. I went to the airport to have lunch with him, and it was lovely to catch up with DJ. And oddly enough, when you meet people in person that you've normally watched on a production of some sort, they're very different, but he's just the same. G'day, it's DJ from Automotive Karnage. And he's just a wonderful fella. So I wanted to go and have lunch with him, met up, had a good chat, backed Graham a bit, but he's a good friend of ours, so we can do that. But it was really lovely to see him. Paid a visit to Jason now. I did that last time, so I've had the footage on the camera card for a while. So Ethan was down, and Ethan's gone in the army, his son. And so we have a look at the ZF, and we have a look at the XA hardtop that he's got. Ethan does some circle work in it. So we go and do that. Just had a long call from Nathan Hickey. And Nathan Hickey is a very good supporter and friend of mine. And he has, he's doing an XC. He's got an Interceptor and he's got another car, I think. Well, he has a bounty of parts that I'm buying for the XA. Some of it will go in the XA, some of it won't. And there's a 302 and there's a C4 Panfield and there's a disc brake rear end which I'll throw in the XD, and I'll just use the XD as different the XA for now. All this other stuff. And so he's going to come down and he's planning a road trip because he's in Sydney, so he should be down just prior to next holidays, which will give the concrete enough time to go off and I can start moving this stuff back. The XD did a heater hose, some heater hoses and radiator hoses and The heater tap actually snapped. It was pretty sick, so I just did a bit of work on that. Stuck an alternator in the Sigma. I forgot to take a battery and a Tesla multimeter with me, which is dumb. Kevin shears the sheep, Susie's fella, and most of the rest of it is just on work I'm doing around the carport. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy. Rocking it. This is Jason's hardtop, and he's happy as a pig in poo about it. And his son, this is Ethan. G'day Ethan, how you going? Ethan's been doing donuts in it and chewed up 15 litres of juice just in that area there. You've got it well balanced. Oh, you're trying to get this line as a...
Yeah, I haven't.
It's a so-and-so to get straight, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm going sharp. I'm going real
You've
sharp.
actually got sharp there.
Yeah, I'm going sharp. If you have a look at the other side.
Because they're rounded and they're hellish to get right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can't start with a dull line. You've got to sharpen it and then dull it.
Then dull it after. Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I've done. That's,
Oh, wow.
That's as sharp as you'll get it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I see what you've done, yeah. You can't, yeah, because I tried to do mine dull straight off the bat and I couldn't do
No,
it.
you can't. It's just too. You're better off sharpening it and then.
And then
because
bring
then
it
you can
down.
see I've got a little depression there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. It just dips down at that point there. Just
Yeah,
there.
I've got you. Yeah, I can see that.
And so you can adjust all of that while it's sharp.
Yeah, you got no hope otherwise.
No, that's right.
Oh, wow. That looks damn good, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit dusty in there. And
Oh, yeah, but...
on that side there I had a colour run, but I managed to...
Have you seen the factory? That
yeah, sorry, it wasn't a
bolting
colour
in
run,
there.
it was a clear run.
Oh, yeah.
So I sanded it
So you've
out.
got clear... Oh, is this a metallic bloke? Or is...
Yeah.
Yeah, I see why. Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty bad on the insides, but everywhere else is spot on.
Oh, how'd your engine go? Because I've got to do
Yeah,
that.
it's all done.
This is it here, is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
So there's going to be some areas where you have to put a bit of touch up.
Oh, yeah,
Once
but-
once it's all assembled.
Once it's assembled, you... Oh, that's great, isn't it? Look,
Yeah.
you've done all around there and everything. That's perfect.
Except I realised that I was supposed to go all the way like a V.
Brush.
But it doesn't matter. I'll do that with touch up.
And we got to get one of those for you. I bought these dowels
I've got yeah.
because
Yeah,
the
I saw
ones
that.
you always replace them, so I've just bought new ones
Yeah,
for it.
I've got boxes of stuff, mate. I've got almost everything you need. I've got a new one of those, but
I don't think that needs replacing.
I don't think
though.
it needs replacing.
No.
I was told that they come out when the,
I've never taken one out.
when the hot tanked. But
Yeah, I've never seen one.
yeah, there's the sump pan.
Oh, look at that. Well, it's too late to weld a baffle in now, you know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Got to get the bloody part number in it. Geez, nice, isn't it?
Yeah, cool, good.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And you've got the timing covered. Ah, look at that. Shiny, shiny. Ah, look at that. You can see the wattage written on the fluoros.
Yeah.
And you're putting that one back
Yeah,
on.
put that one back
Yeah.
on. I've got, there's some, that's power steering brackets, I think. Yeah, power steering
Yeah,
brackets.
that's past there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh,
Yeah.
look in the part.
And inside,
So this is Katrina's birthday present, is it?
that's exactly right. That's probably
Yes,
the wedding
Katrina. Hi,
car.
Katrina. Hey.
It could be the wedding car, which means that, oh, darling, I got to get it finished before we get married.
What if she liked Chevs and Holdens?
Yes, that's right.
I'm good.
She's good.
She's good.
See, that's nice and straight.
Uh-huh.
This one here.
There's got something to report on now. I've done nothing at home except digging drains.
Yeah, how's it going? See that?
Crap. That's what you got to.
That's
You
right.
know.
It's a fix. That's a fixed panel, so you can't.
I like how balanced you got it on the rotisserie too. Just flip it over by yourself.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Lure.
That ribbed velour they had on BC Commodores, but there was an aftermarket mob used to do it. We used to do them all the time at Super Trim.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that looks pretty good. Although it's got some rust over there. Hang on, can I zoom up? Over in that corner, but the rest of that's really peachy.
Yeah.
I thought that was rust. It's just got black show or the green showing from the black.
Yeah. But you can see up and under here, you can feel there's nothing. There's no rust. No. Oh, shit, that's hot under there.
Yeah, it would be. It's black
It's so
man.
hot, black.
It's actually very, very clean, isn't it? Mine's all gone, all through here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is no worse than the Fairlane, than the ZF.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can get all bits like this
Yeah,
too.
that's right. You can buy those parts.
And the little beaver under there you can too, I think.
Yeah, you can get everything except rear quarters. So those rear quarters have to come off. They have to come off.
So it'll be lead wiped up here somewhere, won't it?
Well, there's lead up here, which the guy's taken out.
Oh, that's ugly.
This is actually the worst side.
Yeah, I see what they've done.
And,
Oh, that's going to be a bastard of a job, isn't it?
taking those rear quarters off, man.
Well, there's also this.
Yeah, that I'm not afraid of because I just get a template as.
We just cut a section off a rusty roof or something.
No. We've met a couple of guys who've got coupes. I'll just take some cardboard templates of the actual curve of the curvature.
Yeah.
And then convert them over to plywood, and then from underneath, when I get that, I screws through the roof up to the plywood.
Yeah.
And that creates the curvature.
Yep.
And then just patch from underneath. Just patch it.
Yeah.
And might have to do the patches in say 6 pieces.
Bits. Yeah.
6 pieces.
You'll get it there.
Yeah, it'll be
Be interesting to see what's under there.
Yeah, it's not
Because
too
mine's
bad.
pretty knackered there.
Yeah.
They got a slipper in it, has it? So, when you finish restoring it, are you going to let him do that?
No.
Why?
Can you imagine if the bloody ride-on hit that?
Oh,
That'd break them.
is that what it threw?
He's been throwing that stuff out all morning.
Yeah, a bit of it landed over near the old Corolla. Good on him. Here it comes. I might get out of the way. Good work.
The smile says it all, Pete?
Hey?
The smile says it all.
Oh yeah, I would have given my teeth to do that when I was a kid. How you going, Claire? Well, we're still doing Kenwoods because this does not let up. Let me show you something. Stay there, doggy, because the fence is open. Oh, gee whiz. Right. This drain, I got to finish. You see the fence? What happened was the dozer, what do you call it? No, the thing that did the holes for the stumps, knocked the fence, but the fence framing was all rotted. There's some there too. Claire, did you get in? You're not supposed to be in here. And the problem is, if I go down here and into next door, I won't show you his yard. All of this was rotted all along here. So I've just got these stakes that are really concreting well. But look at this. Underneath my slab in the garage, it's all been eroding. So I had to put the fence back and backfill it. So I've got to replace those timbers. They're kind of rotted behind there too. And also right up to there, and you can see replace those ones. I didn't do that, somebody else did that. Just here, so that's what we're doing, but it's horrendous to get out. So Once that's done, then I can dig this out properly, because I've had to sort of stand on it and half fill it in again. And then we're back into a reasonable shape. Then I can dig along there. This is taking forever because sometimes it's too hot. It's going to be 32 today, but I'm in the mood, so that's all good. Today being a lovely day, we can do a bit of hedge trimming, just to sort of improve the look of it. I do it twice a year anyway. That way the post looks a little less like us. I've just got to crown it all across the top. Right, XD. Right, let's lift you up. Today's also the day I just warmed it up a bit. Going to change out this hose, these two, heater tap. I've got everything for oil change as well. I've got to give it a service. So a little bit of work on that just to keep it in tip top, which it's not, but it's kind of tip top. Well, it's about time to give this thing a bit of TLC. And what do we got? We've got a couple of problems. We've got all this corrosiony stuff around that plug. I took the transmission cooler out and substituted it for a PWR one a while ago. I did a video on it. I'm just going to take this out, and it's filthy. It's got glycol in it, but only a tiny bit left. Most of it's just rusty crap like that. So now you can get to the bottom hose, so that I can drain the cooling system. I'm going to throw this in that bucket. The cooler actually looks reasonably clean, but it's kind of not. There's a bit of rusty stuff in there, but on the whole, it's not too bad. Got a bit of sun glare. I don't know if you can see down there. I hope you can, but if you can't, well, I'm sorry. This tool for getting the bottom hose off was sent to me from, name escapes me, but he's the gentleman that sent me this, the most used tool I've got. Great. Trim tool, and I've used it for a whole lot of other stuff too. He sent two of these, one like the same as the snap-on one that I had, and he sent one that sort of doubles back on itself too. So I've just got to loosen off that bottom hose. I'm going to drain the cooling system out. It's the first time in probably, what did I do with the radiator 25 years ago or something? It sounds weird when you say it was last century. Oh, it doesn't hang on too tight. Geez, I don't even need that tool. She just come on. It's cool. It's clear. It's looks pretty. Anyway, you know what I mean. Didn't hold much, did it? Hang on a second. Let's take this off. Yeah, she's empty. Right. I'll put that back on. I'll just check that spigot down there, clean it up a bit, put that back on. I want to take this out and see what's going on with that. I think it's for an XF, this radiator, because the original one that came with the car was thicker. It was a triple core, because I ordered it. It was up for $351, because Dad ordered it with a Class 2 towing pack, which came with a bigger radiator, but it's since been lost and we've got this one. This thing's sweating because it wasn't even tight. It's like, there's no ring or what underneath it, but it's for some sort. I think it's for a fan switch on an XF or something. XF's a normal fan. I don't know what I'm talking about, but is it got a washer or something? It's got a washer there, which might be actually okay to keep there. I wouldn't mind just taking it off and here it is. Ah, yeah, it's a stuffed washer. All right, that answers a few things. It was a sort of a very brittle, manky looking fibre wash. I'll see if I've got a copper one. I might have a copper one for that. The house is falling apart. Now you didn't think I was going to put this back in without cleaning it up a bit, right? Well, the point is it's brass, right? You can't have green brass. You shouldn't do that, but I did. Nice. There's still a bit of muck in the middle of it, but you just got to make sure you're very ginger in the chuck so you don't damage the thread, which you probably do anyway, but I don't really care. I've got loads of sets like this. This is from Aldi, fibre wash. I haven't got a copper wash that'll fit. And these things are pretty crap because you can back it every time. They won't have the size you want. Except that's actually quite good. I didn't expect it to have it. It's a little bit loose. Right, and they're probably a little bit thin. I'd sooner use a copper one, to be quite frank. But normally when you buy these sets, you'll find that, I might just put that in and snug it. You'll find that they never have the size you want. I've got O-rings like that, I've got these, I've got all sorts of split pins, you name it. You didn't go. was going to put this in without painting it, right? Oh, oh man. That's ivory. I thought it was clear. Hang on. Right, what a moron. I've got the right stuff. Interestingly, it says 2X, which looks like 2K, so it's going to sell. It'll just be jam, just be enamel. 2K ultra cover, so that just means double cover. But interesting the way they've done that, because at first glance you would think that's a 2-pack product, but it's in a rattle can, so it's very difficult. They can do 2-pack rattle cans, but you've got a finite time to use them. Oh, should be right. Clean the jet out, and come on, Jet, clean out. These all look to be in very good condition. There's no corrosion at all around it. And it's just, I wouldn't mind flushing it though. So wait till I get that bottom hose, and I'll flush it out, I think. I'm not going to do it today. I'll order the hose, so I'll be able to replace it sort of, I don't know, in a week's time or so, but I'm going to take these heater hoses off. I want to have a look at that spigot down there, because they're known for corroding. And look what it's done to my rocker cover. Ooh, that hose is stuffed. Oh, nice. It's rusted my rocker cover out. Oh well. I painted them, I'll tell you when I painted these, 2003. I remember, it was my first year at the school. And I did plugs. And believe it or not, I painted them in acrylic, which you're not supposed to paint engines in. And you can still see it looks alright, it's only where the water's been and the heat's got to it. Anyway. Well, I wish I could say I looked after this car well. I was just wiggling this pipe off the heater core and it just completely rusted out. And so, at least it gave me some warning it was going to go, over a long time actually. This isn't perfect down there. In fact, it isn't perfect at all. I can't see it here. Oh, there it is. That's a job to get out actually when the engine's in situ. You take the alternator and the thermostat housing off. I might actually put one in. You get brass one, you just knock them in, and I'll just scratch it up with a screwdriver and see if it's rusted out. It does have a lot of scale on it though. I think it's still serviceable. It's getting thin around there though. I should probably stick one in, I think. Particularly if I was going to use it for any sort of road trip. It does look like it's thinned out a little bit. There, for example. Let's have a look down there. It'd be a good bit of preventative, I think, if I did that. Unfortunately, the bit on the head is alright. It's weird how these things go. That is knackered. Oh well, it's the right time to do it. I don't actually know what Ford recommend for these. I just buy these ones. VC Commodores have a similar one with the right angle. What's the CH1666? I always use Mackay, always. This is a proper Cleveland 4.9, 302 engine to water valve. It doesn't say anything about 351s, it should be the same. That's a Mackay hose that's been here for 25 years. I'm replacing it because it's 25 years. But there's nothing actually wrong with it. So all you're doing is you're just putting one on straight from that end and cutting that off at the heater valve and using the other one this way. And it's nice and tidy, fits through the bracket and it does a good job. Normally I chuck new clamps on, but guess what I'm not doing today? It's the car's lucky day, it doesn't get new clamps. The only reason I've got this dog leg thing here is because of this thing. Some people put sealer on hoses, I don't bother. They shouldn't need it. But, you know, some people do. I saw a guy, actually, I was at Toyota, and I remember a guy used to hang a lot of crap on people. And it was a 2L, you know, high lux, I think, an old diesel, or 3L, one of the two. And he puts elastic around the bottom hose, took it for a road test, it came off and he didn't know, and he cooked the engine. Look, if it's really knackered, the only time I use a sealer is if the spigot you're putting the hose on is absolutely knackered. And then you could probably do it just to fill in some of those little voids from the corrosion. If it leaks, right, it shouldn't leak just with a hose and no sealant, but if it does, it means that, like in that one down there, I'll replace it. In this one down here that we looked at before. So, whoopsie, come on. I'm going to set the length up after I put the top hose on. Hang on. Maybe. Hose clamp or Jubilee clip drummers. I called them Jubilee clips once because I never knew what they were properly called, and everyone had to go at me because that's what they Pom's saying. But I'm a good deal Pom anyway. Hang on a minute, we'll get that in. Cool. I've got to redo the bonnet cable because it should go under there and then out through here. I screwed it up. Rare spares part. I don't think we're going to get the longevity we have out of this. This was the original part. Now, if I'd looked after the car a bit better, maybe that wouldn't be rusty. But in a sense, it's almost acted as a sacrificial part. So it's not a bad story. It just could have been if it was allowed to break en route. But then I wasn't going to take this car on a long trip or anything until I'd given it a good once over. And this would have been one of the things I was looking at. Going to save this Jubilee clip. Watch everyone in the comments now. The hose clamp. Oh, well, I've trimmed that. I scalped it a bit. There's a little wispy bit hanging up there I'm going to get. But as for this thing, yep, we've done it. What was I going to say? Yeah, I put that on before these. I just wanted to make sure there's a bit of movement there. I'll just put a cable tie there, just to make them nice and parallel. We can get the oil filler. Not that we really need to. And the valve's there. I've got to replace that bit of vacuum line though. It's splitting. So we'll top it up. I'm just going to clean that bottle out. That looks much better than it did. And I think that we'll call it a day on that. I do have to do an oil filter change, but I'm not going to film that. That's not leaking, thankfully. This, that line kept splitting. Believe it or not, that's new, that brown vacuum line. I just take a cable tie on it to give it resistance so it stays in there. When I take, eventually the dash will have to come out of this car because one of the vacuum motors for the direction's gone. And it's been like that for years. But eventually when I take it out, I'll change all this hose out. At the moment I'm not going to do it though. The belts are great, there's nothing wrong with them. The car hasn't done any Ks since all that was done. So that all looks pretty good. I'll just top that up. So I've got all new hoses at the top, not at the bottom. I haven't done that yet. I'm just thinking about that bottle. Hang on to clean that bottle out. I might put a bit of washing liquid in there and drop a bit of chain on a cordless drill, see if that cleans it up at all. Which you probably won't. Maybe it's too long too. I was thinking about whippersnipper cable. It's not really doing anything. That was a fail. Alright, let me try something else. Try this, eh? See if it does anything. Which it probably won't, but it's worth a go. Nope, it's not allowed to. Maybe I need to make it a bit shorter. And someone's come out and tag me because it's going to friggin' hurt. Okay, so maybe a bit shorter, huh? Maybe this. Not doing anything. I like the chain. The chain was better. Okay, well I'm not getting anywhere here. Maybe just shake it up with the chain. Oh yuck, it's going everywhere. Not doing much. I've just got suds. Well, I've had this soaking for about a week or so in white vinegar. It looks like it's done absolutely nothing. It might have loosened some stuff off. I'll tip out the rest and see if I can clean up a bit better. Still messing around. This time I've got a rag on a drill. Trying to... I'm not having much success, I'll tell you what. It's pretty crummy, but it might be a little bit cleaner than it was. Not enough though. It's a bit dirtier. Not enough though. It's getting there. It's a little bit better, but nowhere near as good as I thought it'd be. Particularly in these areas down here and up there. It might be the best I can do is what I got though. It's nowhere near perfect, but it's a little bit better. Still some gunk down the bottom there, you can see. And up on the side, but I can't do much more. Maybe some of that CLR stuff. I really actually thought the iron oxide in the rust would react with the vinegar, but it did nothing. Well, it's stone cold at the moment, so I've just started it. Oh, I need to fill this up with fuel too. I've stuck some fresh fuel in there. I've got to put the heater on. Oh. Where's hot? There we go. Right, thermostat's starting to open. Thank you, Harvey. Fuel gauge works, oil pressure gauge works beautifully. The mirror fell off the screen, so I've got to put it back on. I'm always a bit dubious about getting my hand over there. Yeah, it's not open fully yet. Not sure I can hear it gargling in there. I let it sit for about a week before I started it, and so it's probably equalised around where the thermostat is. So I've probably got rid of the air that way. You don't have to bleed these. You just got to make sure it's starting to feel warm, is it? Kind of. What about these guys? That's warm. That's not. Alright. Let's see what's going on with this friggin' heater. I've got to oh, I better get some fuel. This car is awful on fuel. I will say that. It's bloody terrible. Put it on the screen. Yeah, it's warming out. Definitely open. Yep. Probably looks alright. That's now quite hot. Since I changed the thermostat, it doesn't take long for this thing to open at all. Still feels a bit cool there. Now just top them up, eh? I'll put the lid on and Bob's your uncle. I might go for a road test and test the lid. I love this car. It's the best car. Now I've got to do a coolant change and oil change on the XW. That's due now. I think the XC's even due and I've never even driven it. Well, here I am in sunny country Victoria, back with a little Sigma. I ended up buying a new alternator for it. That guy down there, but in all my wisdom, I did not bring a battery with me or my multimeter to check the charge rate. So that's a bit of a pain. Of course, fitted in with no issue at all, which is good about this sort of thing. It's great that we can still get the parts we need for these old bangers. Steering's good. So this is the one I put power steering on. Plenty of fluid, no leaks, nothing like that. So it's really, really good. I just wish I brought a battery with me. Temporary sheep shearing station. Poor thing must be scared out of its wits, but oh, look, see, there's a few jumpers there.
Look at his face.
I can't believe how sharp those bloody clippers are.
Yeah.
Look at
It's
it.
a big sheep.
He is a big sheep, isn't he? God, fuck me, look at it.
I want to see how fat he is if it was all raw.
Yeah, it would have been. He's probably like a lamb underneath all that.
I got you, Barry. I got him. I caught him.
You got him.
Gee, you'd have to be skilled with that so you can cut the...
Oh, he needs a haircut.
Oh yeah, well, it's hot too, isn't it? But then wouldn't this make them more susceptible to sunburn?
No.
I'm a rough year.
I know. But
Oh, you left a bit on his face, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's a lot of wool, man. What are you going to do with that? That's a lot of wool.
Oh, shit, I missed a bit on his face.
Kevin.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. Are you gonna give me a...
Hey, Barry.
I'm not paying you.
Hello, buddy.
You did well doing that. That was good.
You did well doing that in full sun. That's murder. It's a hot day today. Come on. That's why he's fat, because he eats a lot. It's a friggin' man's job, that one. Oh, you're getting a bit stressed. Those two over there are done. They're happy as Larry when you let him go. They don't seem to be in shock or anything. Yeah. We watched the Elvis movie last night. So it leaves some big mutton chop sideburns on the sheep. Here we are training a cattle dog. Oh, hang on. He's a very gentle dog. So, Red Dog's not really trained with sheep. He's a Kelpie. So, to train him, you just start with a few sheep. So, he's very gentle. Red Dog is brilliant. I'm still digging at this. The pipe goes everywhere. It's difficult to even dig straight. So I've got to come across here to that over there. So fence is done. You can see the handiwork down there. And I'll put the lattice back up. So that's all done. I can backfill there, that's fine. But I've got a hunch Baz is going to call tomorrow morning and say, are you ready for me to do the pipes? Which I'm not. It was 37 today, so I'm pretty sweaty and I don't really like digging trenches. In fact, I really don't like it. But I need to do this to get the final approval. And then I can move forward with populating it with a car or two. Right, this carport thing is a pain in the ass. So, all the plumbing's been done, all caved in, all beautiful, but people next door, the builders next door, lent me their laser leveler. I've got to make this so that it can be, the concrete can be put in and, what do you call it? Rio. Now, I'm going to make the pads at 150 and the rest of the slab at 100, because eventually I might go up and put a hoist in here. You can now get double 4-post hoist, so 4 cars will then fit in here, which is good. So I've got to dig this out, which is quite a lot. Over there against the fence is the old earthenware pipes, which the builder next door wants for the post in the fence. There's a bit of topsoil here. I'll sprinkle it around, dig this out. They're going to take the dirt away next door. I made a deal, hopefully it's good, where they're going to take everything away for free and I'm just paying wholesale for concrete. Hopefully. I want a dollar figure. That's what I'm after. So, I'm going to take a panel off here because I want to see the slab. So there will be no wall on the back. Might have to move my cleaver because it's right behind here. And that allows them room because all this back has to come off in order to put starter bars on. Got to relocate that snail. Come on, bud. What are you doing? You're not going to live there long. Hopefully they like this weed. This got Wandering Jew, but they had to change the name of it. So just heaps and heaps of labour in doing this. And that's the beauty of undoing all this first. I asked the guy to do that so I can get in here and I'll just pull this out. Hope there's no red back or anything in there. There's all my car bits. And that shows exactly where the old slab is. So we've got to go a little bit out and then dig a bit of this up. And a bit here, but all in all, I don't think it's going to be all that much. So what'll happen, that's where my seat is when I do the intros, just behind this wall with spanners and everything hanging. You can see them there. So It's all good. I'm glad I got him to undo that because all behind there it was secured and there was a flashing up there. Will give me a fright now. Flashing up there, which is all gone. So it's all loose behind there. So this will all come off eventually, but I need to see so I can set up the laser leveler exactly where the floor is, and then I can dig accordingly. Uh-oh, good old Aldi ratchet ring. You can see how dodgy it is behind here where I've run out of materials and just held them in from behind. It's all looking pretty good. I'll take that last bit off once he's disappeared. He might jump on me. Focus. Come on. He's a big one. I can't focus on this guy. Hang on, what about now? My mother used to just pick them up with her hands. I don't mind getting near them, but I don't want them jumping on me. Right, so what we're going to do is clean all this up. You can see where the saw was, over here. All the sawdust through our two heads. There's a 351 inch in there, an MG and an XC. But, what I'm going to do, that column can actually come out. I'll bolt the shed to the carport frame up here. Most of it's done by the weight sort of comes down off those purlins, is that the right word? Down onto these columns here and the corners. And so to extend this garage originally, I just moved the column back from where it was 3 meters forward to here, and then put the back on. That's why it's drilled in 2 different places. I don't know why that turned out like that. But these girts can come off. That can come off, it'll be all nice and open. And that power line there is a legally done thing for that nice old light. But I cut through it when I did cut the trench for the plumbing. So I want to get it wired up properly, so I'll take all that out. And I just don't really know what to do about the slab because it's 1.5 inches lower that side than that. And what I initially intended to do eventually is go up about 1800 and put a hoist in here. So I was going to dig out the perimeter or the sides to at least 150 thickness instead of 100, which is what basically that slab is. Got it off. Now I can go backwards in the XC and almost get through the wall. So what we can do, we can use these here, what do they call again, girts, that column, those two, and clad that wall. That's what I'm going to use those for, because the span will be right. I think I've measured it. So far as the back's concerned, I do want to move that shed back to next to here. There's a James Sterling Pitosper I want to get rid of, and that old pathway which I built years and years and years ago to have a sitting area here, but it was always mozzies, and it's just basically a waste. I'll move that camellia, it's a lovely camellia, and I'll pop it over there somewhere. And that way those sheds and everything will be hidden, and I'll just plant along this wall here, so it should look quite good. But there's a load of bracken up there that I've got to get rid of, and the fence has got to be replaced, the concrete's got to come in, so it's a bit before we get to that stage. I'm going to rectify, if you look at that hail dust that was the flooding, and you can see goes under the back of the XC and sort of drains out on this side here. That's thanks to that fall, but I don't want that happening again. So I'm going to put a strip drain right along this wall, and then I'll get it plumbed into the stormwater, and that should eradicate that the sort of moisture coming through. A lot of that was thanks to that block next door, but they're building now, so that shouldn't be an issue now. So this is a state of play at the moment. That stuff has to get thrown out in bins. So it's going to take me a little while to cut it up into little bits and pieces and stick it in the bin to get rid of the most of it. Right, the earthenware pipes, some of it's over the fence. That's going to be broken up and used in the holes for the new fence. Jacarana's doing quite well. This fence is going, I've just got to cut another hole there. I initially cut it there. I'll cut it over here so that we can get the concrete into the carport and just temporarily stick it back up because of the dogs. And those trees and everything are gone, so that's all good, and we can have the fence done and all that sort of stuff. I might have mentioned in the other footage, I got rid of a pathway that I built down here. It was redundant. This is just some of the soil that's been lying around, a bit of it from under where the carport is. Bought some fish, they're in there somewhere. I'll give it another clean. I cleaned it about a month ago. I'll give it another one just to make sure it's nice and fresh. Still be lots of mozzie larvae in there, which is great fish food. So they seem to be going all right. All that weed's got to come out. This is all looking fairly clean. All that's junk. We'll get rid of all that. And of course the original back from the shed. There is the work I've been doing at the moment, and it's not brilliant. Just picking up bits of couch grass. So what we've got here, there's a couple of things. That boxing is the sleepers from under that pathway over there, and that'll stay. So there's kind of, supports there and all that sort of stuff. Concrete will go right to the top of that, right about there. Of course, this boxing will go. So this is just here, just as a border for the concrete, and I'll have it so that the level's up here and it bull noses down. So that way it'll look like a big thick slab of concrete, but it's not. But that will stop any of the substrate leaking out and getting sort of washed away like it did under the garage, because there's a huge leveling issue there. We're still high here and over there, I think. And there's a little bit more digging and straightening out to do. Let's see. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. So I'm really happy about that. It's a lot of work, but the idea of that is to save me some money. So anyway, look, hope you've enjoyed that. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.